dear viewer. This is the Rays of Hope program, and we're very excited that you have joined us today. And today we're talking about dignity to the old. And there's a lot of insight here to share. There's a lot to learn about this topic. And we want to continue encouraging you to follow us on our social media platform, CAC TV Kenya on Facebook and CAC TV Kenya on YouTube. Drop your comments there. We will read and we will respond to you. With me in studio is my friend, Madam Joyce Wanjiko, and we'll get to know her very well because she represents Purity Elderly Care Foundation, and she'll tell us more about it. Karibu sana.
Thank you very much for having me.
Wonderful. Please say hello to the viewer.
Hello, my name is Wanjiko Joyce Cairo. I am the founder of Purity Elderly Care Foundation, an NGO I founded in honor of my late mother Purity, and I'm really excited to see you again, Reverend Lucy from Nyeri. We had a good time, and I thank you for having me today.
Wonderful. So glad you could find time and be with us, and we're very excited. But first, before we get into what dignity to the old means, and maybe even what Purity Foundation is involved in, who is Joyce? Tell us a bit about yourself.
Joyce is a girl of Purity Wanjiro and Haman Cairo, born of a family of seven, and number 4 in the family, and was born in a place called little village at the time called Watuka in Kieni, and born and bred there, brought up in Moiga town. So I'm born Tao, or taking care of Tao. So Moiga city. So basically, and then I went to school to Teto Girls Primary School, where I boarded as a little girl. Then went to high school, Uthaya Girls High School, and and decided that I didn't want to go to college in Nyeri because I thought it was shady. So I decided to come to Nairobi, where I went to college and did a bit of administration, secretarial. So that's now the basic me. And I am brought over from the PCA church. That's where I was brought up. And that's a Christian family. Well, I will say comfortable life. With a bunch of siblings.
Wonderful.
Yes.
Now your career breakthrough. I know you've traversed this world. You have gone places. Tell us a bit about that.
My career breakthrough is that I had these little jobs. You know, when you start college, you have all these little. You stop college, these data capturing jobs. But then I landed a job here in Nairobi, a job with Discount Securities, where we worked as stockbrokers. We were stockbrokers, so we did quite a number of work at the Nairobi Stock Exchange. We were the first people to wear the red jackets that they wore.
Wow.
So, and mine was the smallest. Because I was the smallest.
I can imagine you must have been tiny.
I was tiny, yes. So then from Discount, I joined a Stanchart, where I worked for the Executive Director of Finance at the time, and as an executive assistant to the Executive Director of Finance, and later, peer pressure, you growing, and before I even go there, is that I grew up believing that I wanted to be seen on TV. So I thought I would travel and become this person. I wanted to be like Catherine Kasavuli. So I was like, if you travel, you go to greener pastures. So peer pressure actually pushed me. I started living large in Kenya. Because from Umoja, I went to Imaradaima, or from Moiga Watuka to Imaradaima. Then peer pressure from now my friends, we found ourselves traveling to Germany. And in Germany, that was in 1997.
You actually went to Germany.
I went to Germany.
That's interesting.
Yeah?
You went to Germany.
I went to Germany. And, for the record, I know people keep asking my age. I'm turning 50 in May. So,
are you?
Yes. I'm turning 50 in May. So I went in 1997, and the life there was not what I really expected, not what I wanted. I thought I was going to get some education, do some good things, come back with some career in Kenya, but really it didn't work out for me. So I came back to Kenya in 1998, and things were not really, went into serious depression because what I went to do in Germany is not you know. And I want to tell people is that when you decide to travel, please know where you're going, because at the time, you know, I was young and I was just, you know, so I didn't actually do what it is that I wanted to do. Anyway, came back. I had sold all my household stuff. And my father thought I was out of my mind. You know, no, he was happy when I was traveling, going to Germany. My daughter is now going to. When I came back, they realized, oh, things are not looking good. But I went through that depression for 6 months, and somehow I found my way to South Africa. Again, taking a risk. I'm a risk taker. So you're talking to a risk taker. So whatever discussions you're going to have, you will know that you're dealing with a courageous woman.
Yeah, and you know, in this program we inspire, through the discussions we have here, we inspire courage, resilience, and hope. Hence the rays of hope.
Exactly.
So even this turning around and picking up the pieces from you know, your brokenness from the German experience, and now going to, I don't know what helped you to turn around and to sober up, really.
Yeah, that's a good one. It was a period when you know, I came back having had a fight with some man who attempted to defile me. So we had a fight. So I came back sick and having, you know, scars all over. So I you know, I was, and as a result, I took some sleeping pills. So during the day I would sleep, but during the night, I found some little books. You remember Reader's Digest? Those little,
yes, it's the little ones.
Yes,
I remember them.
Yes, my dad's, my sister's husband at the time used to subscribe the same. So I would read them at night. So I realized all these problems, and you're talking about just one little fight that you had. And then that's when it dawned on me that, Wanjiko, you're reading all these. I had packs and packs of the books, and that's when my depression disappeared, because I saw mine was not a problem. And then now I met a friend who was going to South Africa, and at the time, now both Germany and South Africa at the time did not require visas to go to. So I found an opportunity to go to South Africa. I raised some funds through family, my dad, my cousins, people gave me some funds. I went to Kenyans who are in South Africa who were selling curios and doing some other good jobs. So it was not like Germany. So we worked with them. I managed to get myself a little job, and I got myself into college. I didn't have a degree when I left Kenya. So I got myself into college, and I bridged, you know, with these little jobs. Then I got myself into university. So but in South Africa, when I landed with those little jobs, the data capturing at a refinery, and little by little, with, you know, that's the resilience. The resilience, yeah. Yes, I was just energetic, and I didn't want to be that person. I had seen myself probably where I am, but not with who I am right now. Not with that humility. I was seeing that part, that other person. So basically, what I did, I managed to get myself a good job with a telecommunications company in South Africa, and I worked through with the institutions back into college, did a number of things, traveled with the company, and unfortunately, due to there's something we call bidding process. We were bidding for the third mobile generation in South Africa with the company, and we lost the deal. So they had to close shop in South Africa. When they closed shop, so I had to look for another job. God is faithful. I got a good job, and again, this other good job. As a transaction advisor, the team was transaction advisory team, and I was in it, and I was, so I will say is that South Africa worked for me. I traveled around the world. I gallivanted. I love rugby.
You do?
Yes.
That's what you took from South Africa?
That's what I took from South Africa.
I guess it's big there.
It is big there. Yes. I would actually sit and watch rugby, and even travel to watch rugby, So that was me. And the way I looked at rugby, again, I didn't look at rugby as just a game. I looked at rugby like an elephant. Not an elephant in a room, an elephant. It's that big thing. When it gets here, it hits. If it gives birth, you will know it has given birth. Am I right? And that's what rugby is. Rugby is a tough game. But when the win is there, they go through so much pain. That's the pain that I went through, that I've been going through.
So you could relate.
I could relate,
Yeah.
and I still relate, because rugby is not like football where you just hit a ball and run around. It's they hit each other, you see blood oozing. So that's
courage.
Take
Resilience.
courage, resilience.
Yeah.
You wake up in the morning, you know you're going to play rugby, you're hit, and you still get up and you put some ice, and yet you're going back. That is what rugby is about. That's why I loved rugby. That's the elephant. That's me.
Wow.
Yes. So I traveled, I did all sorts of things, driving those big cars, and your hair is gold, and you just,
Wow.
Sunglasses, BMW, open the Z4, and it opens, and you're like, yeah. So dining, sushi.
That was when Chico.
Sushi.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Oysters. Nice night in South Africa. You're just going purposely for sushi and nice, big mansion, big house, nice. That life.
And
A
then,
swimming pool.
And then pop,
Bang.
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 That's what we've been waiting for.
That's what you've been waiting for.
Yeah.
Now, bang. What happened? My mother got sick. My mother, Purity. Remember, I am Joyce.
Yeah, you are Joyce.
Purity
Yes.
got ill. She had cancer of the colon. But I have to say, during my high flying, I invited my mother to come and stay with me to jump the millennium. So she stayed with me for, 1999.
Oh, that was 2000.
Yes, exactly.
You gave her a treat.
I gave her a treat in
Yeah.
South Africa.
That's
Although
so
the
sweet.
husband, my dad kept asking for her, but anyway, I didn't have a choice. She was a wife, so
So you
yeah,
had to let
I
her
had to
go.
let her go.
Yeah.
But we jumped the
The millennium.
the
That
millennium.
was big.
That was
I
big.
remember the hype and all that.
Exactly. I was with my mother. Yeah, but anyway, she fell ill from 2008. Things started getting bad. Her body started ailing, and clearly there was that. I'm unable to. Okay, yeah, there was the cancer, and we didn't know. She went to America with my sister, and she got sick there again, and then she came back to Kenya, and in 2009 she started ailing slowly. I came to Kenya to see my mother. For the record, I don't want to say I was not there for my mother, because I wasn't, but I was there because I would come regularly to visit home. I'm not that kind of a person who has never come home.
Yeah.
I would come like twice, 3 times a year.
In a year.
Yeah, and I would just that life. Just jump onto a plane, come home, and stay a few days, then go back to South Africa. It was that easy. But this one time, my mother, I came in December of 2009, and my mother and I took a drive, and we took a drive to some place. No, my mother got sick. She was admitted in 2009. She was operated on. Then in January, and we took her out of a hospital. I was here during the operation, or slightly after the operation, and she was taken to hospital. She came out of hospital. We went home. On the January 2010, I was with my mother. We jumped the year with my mom and dad, the 3 of us.
Yeah.
Then on the 3rd of January, my mother asked me to take her for a drive. And at first I did her hair. She had beautiful hair, like mine, by the way. Yeah, she had beautiful hair. So I plaited her hair. I, worked on her feet, and we took her the drive. The drive was via Solio, Nanyuki, for nothing, doing nothing, but talking. And we spoke at length. And it is at that time, she told me a lot of things, which I've been unable to say, because sometimes you say things, people think you're out of your mind, or even family think you're lying. So it's a lot of information which I've kept to myself.
But precious, so precious.
Precious information that I've kept to myself. So we took the drive, and she told me just near Morigato in Nyeri, she told me while there, she has 6 months to live. And as we were driving, I told her, oh, really? So you are the carrier of life? She told me, I don't think I'm going to live. But anyway, I think I knew, because I had stolen her documents, and I had seen the cancer had metastasized. So it had gone far. So And well, we got no.
But that was, I mean,
Exactly.
letting that sink.
Let that sink.
Yeah, that's painful.
Yeah, but I also joked as we
Yeah.
got home
Yeah.
because it poured. I remember it rained heavily, and as we got home, I told her, "Don't go before you wish me happy birthday."
Mm-hmm.
And she told me, "You think so?" I told her, "You will, Mom. You will." And yeah, that's the first bit of of now my relationship with my mom before her demise.
Yeah.
Then I went back to South Africa, I think on the 10th of that month of January of 2010. Went back to South Africa, and I would call my mom. I didn't come back immediately. I'd pick up my phone, call my mom. "Mommy, nasikia, how are you feeling?" Now. And clearly she died a few months later. But she didn't die without wishing me happy birthday. I came back to Kenya to see my mom. After calling, and I could hear sending money. This woman has money.
Yeah.
This woman has helpers.
Yeah.
She has a driver.
Yeah.
She didn't need money.
No.
She needed Wajiko
Yeah.
to take care of her.
Yeah.
So I didn't actually, I wasn't there.
Yeah.
So on the 28th of January of 2010, I flew back to Kenya. In fact, my boss told me he was to fire me because I just got up from our open plan office in Santon. Oh, I didn't tell you I lived in Santon.
Oh, no.
Oh,
Santon.
Johannesburg.
I've heard a lot about that.
Yeah, first in Durban, then Santon. Hey, yeah, that you should.
Durban and Santon.
Yeah,
I hear you.
But anyway,
Yeah.
Santon.
Yeah.
I remember leaving the office and I got up. I just paid my flight ticket online with my credit card or my card, and I just told my boss, "Jarum, I'm off to Kenya." He told me, "Joyce, you have work to do tomorrow." Then I was like, you know what? I'm off to Kenya. I drove to the airport from the office. Drove to the airport, flew to Kenya, came saw my mother, and I found her at my sister's house, ailing, sickly, and that was 28th. We stayed. On the 30th of May, I woke up and asked my mother, "Mommy, what date is it today?" Then I told her, it's 30th. "It is your birthday, and you
30th
told
of May.
me."
Yeah, that I will not
And she
know.
said in Kikuyu, "Nanuaji." And I was like, yes, it is my birthday. And I had squeezed myself in her bed. I slept with her. I would even sleep on the floor. And a few days later, on the 1st of January, my mom went to be with the Lord.
The 1st of June, you mean?
June, sorry.
Yeah,
the 1st of June.
yeah.
The 1st of June of 2010,
Yeah.
my mom went to be with the Lord.
And that was...
I think I've got the 3rd of June. My
3rd of
mom went to
June.
the 3rd
Yeah.
of June. My mom went to be with the Lord
Yeah.
because we took her to the hospital on the 31st, and she passed away on the 3rd of June, and that was it. So I gallivanted. I was hosting. It was a mid-soccer World Cup, football World Cup in South Africa. So remember, I have this high-end house. So I was hosting people from South Africa. I mean, from America, from UK, from Kenya.
No,
my
wait,
friends.
that's 2010.
2010.
Yes.
Yes. So there was football.
That was around June, yeah.
It was June.
Oh, I
It was
remember
starting on the
that, yeah.
11th
I
of
remember
June,
that.
and we were laying my mother to
remember
rest
that.
on the 10th.
On the 10th. Tough time.
Tough time.
Tough time.
So, yeah. So I think I'm confusing dates. My mother was laid to rest on the 12th. Soccer was opened on the 11th of June. So after laying my mom to rest, I went back on the 14th. So because I was hosting, of course I was being paid, and these are high flyers. So I forgot about my mom's death because I was going to Loftus to take my guest. So it didn't. But one night, at about midnight, I was at Loftus Field, a chilly cold night, and I don't like football. So I like rugby, not football.
Not football.
And a chill, and people are clapping and happy, and I felt a voice ask me, "You have time to actually, in the middle of night, to come and bring your friends to come, and you never took care of your mother." I was like, "Oh, that was the first thing." That hit me. I almost left my guests. Then I was like, "You're the driver, they're drinking, so you're the dedicated driver.
You got
so
to be
and you're
nice
taking them to
also,
your
yeah.
house." So we went back, and so football was done. Then after football, it started now dawning on me something was not right.
Yes, that was not right.
So that was now 2010. Slowly, 2011, I started becoming not very serious with my work. And I started, I was like a kind of mad. I would wake up in the middle of the night and start writing things. And then I went and told my boss, he was the main boss, I told Mark, I think I want to go and start taking care of the elderly. So he thought I was out of my mind. I told my church. So I started visiting now Soweto, other Alexander. But I was also plugged into a church in South Africa, a Rivers Church. So I was plugged in. So I was also volunteering in so many activities, like church activities, like foundation activities, the Rivers Foundation. I was very, very active with the Rivers Foundation, children's homes.
So you were well grounded. No wonder you can discern.
Yes.
The direction you're supposed to take. You can hear the voice speaking louder than the other voices.
Exactly. So I was, because I was quite, I was also, I was the person organizing all these activities, the foundation's activities. And so it was something that was in me. But slowly things started telling me, Wanjiko, you need to go to Kenya.
Go back home.
Go back home. I called a few friends, my cousin. I remember telling my sister-in-law, Jane, I'm coming to Kenya to help. Will you be helping me wash old people? She was like, yes. Right now, she's like, no ways. What you do, I can't do.
Yeah.
So it went on like that until now, one day on the 24th of May of 2011. Already now I had started writing concept research. Already now I've seen it is Kenya and understanding the demographics of Kenya and the statistics and the plight of the elderly, in Kenya. So already now it started sinking in me. And that is when now on the 24th of May, I used to jog. So I have so many medals of even running, doing marathons. Yeah, so I was jogging one morning, preparing for a marathon. And on the way now downhill, I was running downhill, and a lady and her husband were running uphill in Rivonia. And the lady, a vehicle from the behind hit the lady, and she was killed on the spot.
Just before your eyes?
Before my eyes.
Yeah.
Yes, before my eyes. I remember the screams, the van stopped. It was a breaded van, and the husband was there. So now, of course, I had to be there. We had to report to the police station. Fortunately, I had my phone on me, and of course, the husband could not do anything. Security around the. So we actually did what we had to do. After that, the police came. Then we blocked the road. I went back to my house, and on sitting there, do you know, Reverend Lucy, I slept in the morning. It was at about 6:11 when she was hit, because they had to ask us the time. So I just dozed off. When I woke up, do you know it was 11? Panic attack. Panic hit me. And a voice asked me, and I know it is a voice. If it was you who was hit by that car, have you done what I've called you to do? And I was like, I asked, are you serious? Like, for real? Like, I go to Kenya? That's when it dawned on me that when you go, now you are ready.
You have to go.
You have to go.
Yeah.
I drove to Sunning Hill Hospital for a panic attack. Of course, that class that you're in America and here in Kenya, when someone is hit, people just look and walk away. That one is that it hit me, and that voice hit me. So I went back to my boss the following day. Of course, I had meetings which I missed on that day, and I was reprimanded for that. But they could not understand. So it is now then that, that when the voice is what told me to go back. So I gave a notice. I promised my boss, I did a projection for a few months. And in August, I was in Kenya.
August of 2011.
Yes, I was in Kenya. Trying to find out how to register the organization, and professionally, I needed to do things professionally because with the Rivers Foundation and having been plugged to a church which is very professional, I had to do things right.
The right way.
So, the right way. So that's when now I registered the organization in honor of my late mother, Purity, as a non-governmental organization with the NGO Coordination Board. So that's what I did.
Hence, Purity
Elderly Care Foundation. That is in honor of Purity.
And that's how a high-flying girl had the call.
Yeah.
She packed her bags.
Yes.
Came back home. Left that high life. And you are known as Wajiko Wadwakuru.
Wajiko Wadwakuru.
Because that's what you do. So tell us briefly about Purity Elderly Care Foundation. What is it about?
First, before I tell you about Purity Elderly Care Foundation, when I landed and I decided that I was going to now start taking care of the elderly, everyone thought, this one is coming to lie to Kenyans.
Yeah.
She's just coming to lie to Kenyans. She wants to make money. She wants to be rich.
Yeah, because people have gone through such experiences.
Precisely, that's what people do, isn't it? Yeah, that's what people do. So that's what people thought I was. My own father, who I will tell you today, my father was my dad first. Two, he was my best friend. Or number one, he was my dad. Two, he was my brother because I'm named after his sister. Three, he was my best friend. That man went out there and would tell his friends openly, my daughter is mad. And I think she's gone out of her mind. She's doing things that I cannot understand. I cannot comprehend. This girl is now, should come with cars from the airport. Now she's here with gumboots, walking with old people and going to old people's home. And not just him, people did not, people thought I was out of my mind. And true to it, even me, I actually thought I was. Yeah. Even today, I don't think I'm normal. Honestly, I won't lie to you.
So sometimes you have to pinch yourself like,
a lot of times
I am Wanjiko.
A lot of times I do.
Is this for real?
Yeah, is this for real? I do things that I'm like, and so when I do things, I have now realized the things, most of the things that I do, or the things that I find that I've done, and I keep asking, where did you get that from? And I keep saying to a number of people, including my siblings, when you see me do something, it is not that I have planned. Nikujikuta. I've just found myself doing things, not because it is, So that mad me, it is a calling that God has instilled in Wanjiko that it triggers the activities that
because even resigning from the job itself, and you were on the upward.
Do you want six figure?
Please.
6 figures. Yeah.
You left the 6 figures.
And not under 600.
Not under 600K.
K.
And now you're talking about dignity to the old.
And with nothing, my friend, I'm a professional
Working
beggar.
with the old, and that's why we want to now get into that story now of what you do every day. We want to take a short break. Dear viewer, you're following this, and this is very insightful. I mean, how God calls us and turns us around and directs us to his purposes, and we just find ourselves moving on to give hope to other people. And that calls for courage and for resilience, and we are learning. So we want to hear about this turnaround and how the story has grown. It's almost 10 years now, and she's still doing it. So we take a short break, and we'll be right back. Please don't go away.
Are you looking to grow a business? CAC TV offers you a variety of advertising opportunities to suit your budget. Advertise with us today and reach your potential customers countrywide. For more information, email us on sales@cactv.org or call 0794 588 054.
Jeremiah 33 verse 3 says, "Call to me and I will answer you and will tell you great and hidden things that you have not known." Join Reverend Elizabeth Kimani and Reverend Henry Kaira here on CAC TV as they take us through the program Call Unto Me every Wednesday from 8 p.m. You can send your prayer request through the number 0111 220044 and let our reverends pray with you.
Welcome back to the Rays of Hope program, and we are glad that you are with us. And as you know, today we are talking about dignity to the old, and with me in studio is Madam Joyce Wanjiko Cairo, and she's the CEO of Purity Elderly Care Foundation. Before we went for break, we were talking about, how she got her turnaround She had a high flying job, well paying job, traveling all over, and then she had this call to come back home and take care of the elderly. Therefore, dignity to the old. I want to understand this more. Why dignity to the old, and what's the work of Purity Elderly Care Foundation? You're 10 years really. You've done quite some work. Tell us more about that.
Contrary to what many people thought, especially here in Kenya, many thought I was coming to make money. Many thought I would come and drive those high-flying cars. Reverend Lucy, I am a professional beggar. I walk around begging for donations, and I've not stopped. I'm not going to stop. My resilience is going to be continuous. Purity Elderly Care Foundation. Now, on registering Purity Elderly Care Foundation, there is also another, now with the NGO Coordination Board, there's another arm of government that I needed to work with, because you can't work on your own.
Yeah.
So there are chiefs, that Department of Ministry of Interior and Coordination. So I had to seek permission from them, because you don't want to go to families and then something happens to an old person, either or you're beaten by families because of getting into. So we had to partner with the Ministry of Interior Coordination. At the time, it was not devolved. So what I did, it was now the District Development Committee of Kieni West. So that is where I got the first permission. Then from there, gradually, I was accepted now by the national government of Ministry of Interior. Then there is another partner that we had.
So you are national?
Yes, Purity Elderly Care Foundation is national.
It's national.
It's only that yes, we need resources to be able to go national.
Yeah.
So basically,
the platform is available.
Exactly. Yes. Yeah, we need to go national, because the issues, you go to Baringo. I was in Kisii some time back. You find the Kwale, all those Kilifi, where people, elderly people are being killed. So we need to go national. We need to speak out there. We need to be able to tell others in other languages that there are issues. We need to address issues of older persons. So we registered with the Ministry of Interior Coordination. We are partners. We now partners with also the Ministry of Health. Then it was public. Now it is health. We are partners because we do medical camps. And then you go and find a condition of an old person who probably needs to be taken to hospital, and we don't have the means. Ambulances will work with the ambulances. We'll bring nurses. We have local clinicians and doctors who come, like Dr. Patrick of Muiga, probably know him. He's a clinician. He comes to, supports us, and they do it for free. They actually do it for free. So I will say the partnership is what was very important when we brought in Purity Elderly Care Foundation. So other partners that we have to talk about are the likes of now the donors, the professional beggars. The professional beggar goes to the supermarkets, my friends, my WhatsApp group, my Facebook page, social media, and yes, and other partners are the likes of the media houses who have been resilient in supporting me, following what I do, and my consistency has actually built a good name for the organization. And also now, the other thing is that, which is very, very important, the elderly accepting me.
Yeah.
That was critical.
Oh, because it's one thing to have programs for them.
Exactly.
It's another thing to get through. Yeah.
Yeah. So you imagine if I called like older persons, like the party I had on Monday of International Women's Day. Then I called the elderly. Then you find you've cooked. No one is coming. Yeah. But today I will cook for old people, and you'll find they'll come in thousands. Yes. So especially before COVID, they would come in. I remember the last event we had 1,700.
I remember one you had in Nyeri, in that stadium near Nyeri town. Kamukunji. Huge, big.
Exactly. Yeah. So acceptance. Then also we also have the community health workers, health volunteers, people who come and support us from the village. So working with the chiefs, working with the community workers, and also the support that we get now from people from all walks of life, locally, internationally, that has been phenomenal. That's now how Purity has started, by first seeking permission, and National Gender Equality Commission is also a partner of Purity Elderly Care Foundation, because there are issues pertaining to gender, not just female but also men. There's also issues of gender-based violence within now the older persons. both male and female, because women are defiled, men are sodomized. So we need to address those things, and we can only address these things collectively as a unit, those three arms of government.
And I really want you now to start, because you've mentioned quite a number of issues, but now could you list them from your experience, from your research and your experience on the ground? What issues do older people go through or have?
Okay.
Yeah. That would deny them the dignity that we're talking about.
Dignity, the old. Yeah. Some of the main issues. Forget I don't want to forget stigma.
Yeah.
Stigma, I'll talk about it in a few.
Yeah.
But as far as now, the main issues, one is abandonment.
Abandonment.
There's neglect. There's poverty. There's substance abuse. There is now stigma. There's loneliness. You'll find, like, I loved my dad. My dad, his name was Herman Cairo. He was a PCA elder. So, Herman Cairo. Now, Dad, in his old age, did not become lonely, because he would use his money to invite his friends. So, people are eating meat at his premises, so he was not lonely. But you'd find people like Dad who are rich, who kept to themselves. As a result, they're dying old lonely because they do not have company, they don't have friends. So fortunately, my dad had people visiting. Loneliness is there in people's lives, the elderly's lives. So that is something that we try to address. That's why I was saying to you, I would go and visit my friends in Loresho, hang out with them, and you hear they're in Loresho, but hang out with them, but they're old, but they need my company. So there's something called abandonment. Abandonment, people are abandoned because either they have, you can be abandoned because you have a stigma. You know, the way you behave today is going to impact your tomorrow. You do know that.
Talk about that.
How you be, if my father was beating my mother in old age, or if a man is beating his wife in old age, and especially if he has boys, that man will be stigmatized, and will find himself lonely and doing alone, left. So you're abandoned. You know. Because of stigma, or either you're burdened because of things that you're doing in the society. Maybe you're not a good person in the society. Maybe you're this woman who is just busy talking about everybody else. So in old age, everyone would just be like, you know, let her continue in old age with that kind of character. So neglect is when you find that this person is old, is aging, and you're busy in Nairobi, you're busy like Wanjiko, and you find yourself neglecting your own, like I did, because I had every opportunity to take care of my late mother, Purity. I neglected her. Instead of taking care of her, she gave me a warning that she was going to die.
So it was time bound, really.
Yeah, it was time bound. I had time to just quit my job to go and take care of her. I really had time, but I did not. So I neglected my mother. That is neglect, because you know there's a problem, and you don't even do it. Or you do, let me buy diapers for her. They need you.
And now there are even services taking shopping up country.
Up country.
So you can send from Nairobi.
Then there is mobile transfer.
Yeah.
You send 500 for Mahede Madhu. You get my, I don't know if you're getting my point.
I'm getting.
So that's,
there's been a lot of talk about that. In fact, it's not even a joke, it's real, that like a parent can take care of, bring together 8 children or 10 children, but all of them cannot take care of that one.
That is true. That is true. And I would want people to actually know, you put yourself in that shoes, go back to your village, go back to your parent, think, what is it have I not done to this parent? Because neglect is not finding someone with torn clothes.
No.
Neglect is actually, neglect is that one of, there's something you can do, but you're not doing it. Yeah, it is not torn clothes. That leaves them with the depression. When you neglect, loneliness, stigma, all those, they lead to depression. And a lot of people wish they could die. They actually wish, I don't need to live.
They just get tired.
They just get tired. Exactly. Yeah. So those are some of the issues that I would say that are affecting most of the elderly. And that's my research. That's my, not research on Google. Ground. I am niko ground.
Yeah. We call it, like grassroots theology. Really.
Yes.
Pale kwa ground.
And if those people, do you know, I'll call the elderly by names. They'll come and I'll tell you that one has that issue, this one's that's grassroots. So those are the issues that we have found in the society. And how have we tried to address them? We address them now, of course, using our partners. And there is also the issue of poverty, where, of course, poverty, we can't eradicate poverty completely, but we try to do some work. Now, what do we do as Spirited Elderly Care Foundation? Some of the activities that we do is that we try to now sort out the poverty bits, whereby if you find a shelter is dilapidated, we try and repair. So I'll go to my friends, Bao and others, and shops and ask for nails, I'll look for iron sheets, I'll look for timber, all sorts of things. I'll collect from people, I'll ask people to mobilize, and people, even some hotels donate even beds and their mattresses. Of course, we make sure that they're disinfected. So that's what we do, some of those activities.
Shelter is a basic need, really.
Shelter, it's a basic need, yeah.
And that gives dignity.
That's
because we've seen some houses, really, it's very sad.
Yes, and I would ask people, please.
Even something can come in, an animal, a dog.
A snake.
Can just walk in.
A snake. Even rapists, they'll use those
and it has happened.
It's been happening. So if you have an old person near you and you can see the shelter is dilapidated and you're living in a good place, please don't just take food, go and repair that home. That is what I'm going to say. Yeah. So the other thing that we do, we also provide food where we can. We, for instance, like an old person is not only abandoned, the family is poor. Then we look for a caregiver who is responsible, who is willing. We talk with the area chiefs. And then we agree that we're going to support this family. We look for Reverend Lucy. We ask you to become an adopter. You adopt that granny. So once you adopt that granny, you will be paying, not Mary, you'll be sending money to a shop. And Mary will be collecting food from there and be given maybe a little cash for maintenance and for transport. And that person will be kept. Now we'll be happy. That's the adopt a granny model. But you have to involve us. You don't send us money.
So call it adopt a granny.
A granny model. Yes, exactly. And we have that. And we have quite a number of people who are doing that. So they collect food from the church.
And that's something we can do where we are at.
Yes.
In our churches, in our congregations, in our districts. And like the Presbyterian structure is so good.
Yes.
Because it moves from down there.
Mutaratara, I've been brought up there. Yes, exactly.
And so we should be conscious about the needs around us.
Yes, this unfortunately, this Sunday or once a month district visits, they are not, they really don't work. There's something that district can do. You can decide that this is going to be a consistent thing until the demise or, the Lord will take that person. That this shop will be delivering food to this family like every month. The other activity is now that compassion visits. Those are I do those because it is in me. I would also ask people, please have that heart. Have Reverend Lucy, I'll tell you, there's something I keep saying, it's about humanity, humility, and dignity. As you and I were driving here, I saw you say hello to a policewoman. I was so impressed. I was like, that's humility to humanity. And you have accorded that woman dignity. She's felt very nice. Maybe no one has said to her, hello to her all day. That you've accorded her dignity.
So you're
today.
saying
humanity,
humility, and dignity.
Exactly.
Wow.
Those three words. So you need with all the money that I had, with all that class that I had, with all the English that I speak.
You have good English, by the way.
Thank you. With all the English that I speak.
You're very eloquent.
With all the way I clad, because I love dressing up. I will tell you, there's one thing. You need to be humble to humanity. Not just to the elderly. To humanity.
To humanity.
Yes.
Whether it's a little child or whoever. To humanity. It's about humanity.
I've come saying hello to David and I don't know them. Saying hello to everybody and you're calling them names and then I'm, I think you need to be humble. That's the compassion bit that we keep. So
you visit.
I visit.
Yeah, the grannies.
The grannies.
And they appreciate.
And they hug me and they don't see me. When COVID was very high and I prayed to God that it is actually not coming that way, it's going down. They all removed their masks. Then I was like, why are you removing? To hug you. Then I was like, Corona is there, not with you. You see that they see me, they feel they're seeing their mother. So compassion is
the
the child.
children.
And
the
I also
child,
try
yeah.
to remind people, when you give those compassion visits, when I ask you to do those things that I'm asking you to do, I'm not telling you to do it because I'm just a person that is speaking. It's because I know I'm getting old and you're aging too. And that's a fact.
And you said how we are behaving now,
It's going to impact
it will impact.
your tomorrow.
It's very key. That's key.
It's very key.
Yeah.
So if you neglect, if you abuse, if you look at that old woman and say, you're not going to help, tomorrow it will be you. And it may not even take long. You may not become too old to receive what you're giving.
Yeah.
It's a camera.
What
Camera
you
comes.
sow, you reap.
Yes, exactly.
A good measure.
A good measure.
Shaken.
And even
Pressed
worse.
down.
Exactly.
Overflowing of what you gave.
The other things that we do, apart now from compassion visits, we observe international days and even local days. We just have one funny local day, but we observe international days. We mark the first day is 8th of August. I mean March, where we International Women's Day. Then we have Easter, which it is once in a while we look at it. It is just we drop food to a few people, but in between all those days, we try as much as possible to look for food donations where we distribute to those who do not have grannies. Adopt a granny model. So we distribute to the poor, to the many poor who are living with the orphans. So we still also look. We're not looking just at the elderly. We are also looking at also what is the baggage with this person. This old person has a baggage. What goes with it? It's like you say, if you love the cow or if you love the calf, don't hate the cow. You have to love both.
Exactly.
So you have to love the baggage that comes with it. So if the orphans are there, you try and support.
And some of the most of the grannies, they are burdened.
They're burdened. Yes. Yeah.
Because just the other day I was hearing about one whose daughter has just disappeared to Nairobi.
Not one.
And they give birth, they take the child.
That's what they do. So we do that. The other thing that one person called Wanjiko Badwakoro, she has a very big mouth. She speaks. She doesn't hide. She's fearless. When it comes to issues of older persons, if you're abusing your older persons, I'll speak out. So on June 15, we have World Elder Abuse Awareness Day. That day I speak to communities, I talk to people, I do walks, I take those microphones and I walk around telling people stop elder abuse.
Educating, sensitizing.
Yeah. Exactly. And also through of course I'm an activist, so activists are not very liked. So as a result, I will also fight the government, not really a fight, but hammer the government about the cash transfer. For the older persons and hammer in terms of the processes, how to give them with dignity. At some point when it was done, I think when I just came to Kenya, that is 2011, 12, 13, there were issues. It was undignified. There was no sanitation where they would go, and the elderly, they have diabetes, they need to go to the toilet, they need to drink water, they need to take drugs, they're kept for hours until 8 to 5, there's no food. So that I think I have spoken. Advocacy, that's where I was going. Advocacy is what I do. I advocate. I went to the Nyeri law courts sometime 2015, and I found there were no elevators. So the elderly were being lifted, those who were seeking to go and sign succession. Again,
they had to be
lifted with the blankets and mattresses to be taken to the second floor for succession.
That's not dignity.
That's not dignity. I wrote to the judiciary and I asked the judiciary to please install elevators. And I